And hello, it is here. It's here. It's the Absolute Football Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. And it is me, that the O-double-G, and Josh, and I am here. And just like Michael Jackson told you, I am not alone because you are here with me. But also here with me is Mr. Lucas.
It's always something this time. I was wondering where that was going, but
yeah, good little segue. I don't know where that came from. Lucas, Mike, how are you after a wonderful weekend of football?
I'm good. I thoroughly enjoyed the entirety of the weekend, every single game.
Yeah,
happy days.
It was a good time, and it is not just me and Lucas here, but it is the one and only, the award-winning Charlotte. How are you, Charlotte?
I'm really good, thank you. How is everyone?
Well, why don't you show us, for those of you that don't know, Charlotte won not one, but two. She is a twice award winner by winner of awards. Why don't you show us? Tell us, what did you win?
So, what it is at the end of the year, her game 2 have a little award ceremony, and there's some quite fun categories, and then there's obviously some serious ones. And I won 2 awards voted by my fellow club ambassadors. So I've got Selfie Queen, which is a fun one, and I've got Above and Beyond for not only the campaign but my club Rochdale. So that's my second one. So thank you to everyone that did vote for me. Really excited and humbled.
Congrats.
So sweet. Thank you. It's the only thing Rochdale have won this season.
Well, they've won hearts and minds. That's what they've won this year. They've won hearts and minds. And in the chat, we've got always Lisa. Hello, Lisa. Thank you for being with us. And Chris as well. He likes your selfie award. He appreciates that. I can't take a good selfie because I'm unattractive and nobody wants to see that. But talking about unattractive and things that nobody wants to see, West Ham 2, Arsenal 2.
I thought you were going to say Liverpool Leeds then.
Hence why he's doing the podcast tonight.
I know.
And as things happen, you know, I'm going to try. Look, here we go. I'm going to try and keep on top of it as things develop. As things develop, we'll try and be there. But yeah, it's another 3 points thrown away, frivolous waste. Lucas, how did that make you feel? How did it make you feel? Again,
2-0's like a cursed score now, isn't it? Anytime we go 2-0 up, I'm just going to be scared now. If we go 2-0 up against City at the Etihad, we will probably end up losing 8-2. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. Nerves, fatigue. I can't really explain it. I don't know what I'm watching at the moment. I mean, Liverpool, it's Liverpool. We shouldn't have lost that game, but you can kind of forgive it a little bit with Liverpool at Anfield. Not forgive it, but you can kind of understand. It's not, it's not something that doesn't ever happen. Liverpool suddenly coming back at Anfield or winning out of nowhere at Anfield. But West Ham, when anyone was looking through the results and like, Arsenal might drop points here, did anyone say West Ham? I was the only person last week at work on Thursday. I was literally there having a drink and I was saying, I am worried about this game on Sunday. I don't know why, but I was worried about it because 1, West Ham need points. 2, they're a London team. 3, it's away. I was like, I am worried about this. And I don't like playing those teams at this point in the season. I really don't, especially when the pressure's kind of on us, but they've got points. Southampton, I mean, God forbid if we don't beat Southampton at home next on Friday. Oh, my God.
I mean, I'm sure we said last week, I think it was my nervousness for Arsenal is the confidence factor. When you go 2-0 up and then you get brought back, and not just brought back, the way that Liverpool dominated in their second half would be a bit of a kicker. And for that to happen again, to go 2-0 up and then come back down to 2-2 again, the second of the bounce, I wouldn't be overtly surprised if something bad happens at Southampton. I don't think it will, but the
only thing as well with West Ham though is they have recently been picking up some kind of form. That's the only thing you can really say about West Ham. And to give, obviously it is very frustrating from an Arsenal perspective, but that's the only thing I can kind of say. I think it was a wrong time to kind of play West Ham because they have been picking up some sort of form. They've been picking up results. So I'm trying to be nice here to Arsenal.
They played on Thursday. I thought playing to our hands. I thought they'd be tired on Thursday. They travelled all the way to Belgium, I think it was. They played Ghent or Genk, one of those teams. So they had to go travel to Belgium, come back late Thursday, which means they would have a late train. Which means they wouldn't have trained as much. So I was a bit like, but he did rotate. Moyes did rotate the squad quite significantly for that game. So he was actually, he looked at it and he was like, for Moyes, the Moyesiah, he was like, Sunday Arsenal, I'm going to get some points here. They prepped for it. And 2-0, it's unacceptable.
I mean, and the worry is if confidence has been hit, obviously you've got Southampton. If anything happens in the Southampton game, you've then got to go to Man City. Have to get something then.
There's a few players who are all over the place. I mean, Bukayo Saka is like, I know he's an easy target because he missed a penalty, but he's been awful for like a few games now. He's been really off the boil, which I think is natural. I think he's just tired. Yeah. He's probably just tired. Absolutely
exactly
finished.
What I was going to say. Yeah, because he's a young player as well, isn't he? And he's done a lot of football if you take the World Cup into account.
Every game for Arsenal, every game for England. There's no one to rotate with him on that side as well. You know, natural like left-footed winger. We don't really have anyone else, so he's had to play ring. He just looks tired. Thomas Partey's been a bit poor recently as well. Granit Xhaka's been okay, I'd say. But you know, not as good as he was for the first half of the season. Obviously, Saliba being injured, Rob Holding's come in. Rob Holding's not been awful. I just think we're missing someone who can bring the ball into midfield, which Saliba does. He's a better ball playing defender, and he's a bit more of a calming presence, I think. And then injuries to Tommy Assen stuff means we can't rotate. It's just, I don't know. I was confident going in. There's still hope. There is still hope.
I mean, Chris is saying in the chat, I mean, first of all, Heather blames herself because she captained Saka in FPL.
It's Heather's fault.
Terrible call.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Feel bad. You just, you did the poor lad in. But Chris was saying he actually had 2-2 in the Super 6, which was well done. If you predicted 2-2 in the Super 6 in that game, that's pretty immense. And you had the missed penalty as well. And Martin's saying if he was an Arsenal fan, he'd be worried. If you lose to City, it could be done and dusted. And he makes a good point. You've got Newcastle then. You've got Chelsea, which is a gimme.
And Brighton.
Yeah, I was going to say Newcastle and Brighton. Those aren't
not easy games. When you look at it, I was like, the way I was like in a normal situation, the way we've been playing all season, I would only be afraid of Newcastle and Man City. In any other circumstance, I'd be like, those are two games I'm concerned about because they're top teams and we're going away. But considering how we're playing, injuries, I don't want to use it. Injuries not an excuse, but like we haven't got Saliba and things like that, and we're playing a form now. Suddenly, Brighton, Chelsea, and even Nottingham Forest away. I'm not gonna lie, like those are all games where I'm like, if Nottingham Forest need the points to survive, if it's literally survival, they've actually got a good record at home. So these are all now games which are just like suddenly way more difficult, and for what? For what reason?
I mean, Lisa in the chat, she thinks City are going to beat Arsenal. So Lucas, appreciate your support there.
You never know. Football's a funny sport, but Rob Holding up against Haaland. Good God.
To be fair, human beings up against Haaland, it's not desirable.
And the way they're playing now as well.
Yeah.
They're starting to turn. I mean, and Heather's saying, just as a sideline, she captained Rashford the week before. So if you want anybody to underperform, ask Heather to captain them, and you'll be on a winner. I mean, Chris thinks Forest were poor yesterday. So if they're going to struggle again, that's not what.
But that's what I mean. That's the worst possible. I thought they were actually going to get something out of the United game with Maguire and Lindelof, and then I saw Maguire on a yellow card at 16th minute. And I was like, yes, come on, here we go. And it's those kind of things where it's like there's a knock-on effect of those games. Like if Forest go and get a point against Man United or something, it puts them in a better position than before. It's like they go and lose, then they'll lose their next game, and then sooner before you know it, they only need a draw against us to survive being relegated. And it's like, well, now what have we got to do? They part the bus and hit us in the break. And it's.
I mean, I don't know if you caught it in the game, but I mean, Charlotte, do you think West Ham deserve to pull it back? Because I mean, I'm looking at the stats: 28% possession, 3 shots on target. Was this just fortunate, or did they battle in the second half? You
can't really. It's frustrating. You can't really look at stats it's obviously who gets a goal in the back of the net at the end of the day, isn't it? You can have all the stats in the world, all the possession, all the chances, but they happen to put 2 in the net. So it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, they should have scored. I mean, Antonio hit the post in the second half as well. He should have scored, but it's Antonio. So, and then obviously we had the missed penalty. It was messy. I wouldn't say we even dominated them in the second half. We held the ball for a little bit, but we weren't doing anything with it. We just weren't doing anything. We looked scared.
I mean, your confidence meter, I'm sure it hit about 65% at one stage. Are you reaching the highs of?
No, I'm going back down again. I've turned around. I've done a U-turn. Yeah. I have to say that the substitutions. It's the one thing in an experienced manager. And it's the one thing I say Arteta shows is inexperience. He's smashing it in terms of how we're coached and how we're playing. Like the football's been brilliant, but it's another one with there's a plan A, and if plan A doesn't go well, the subs were. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. He took off Jesus.
Yeah.
That were a bad move. I would have took Saka off, and that's
Saka.
not. Yeah, he just showed tiredness, fatigue, and obviously with the penalty miss as well.
His head was gone.
Feel like nothing was really going for him at that point. So yeah, that was really mad. I agree.
Because he had the penalty, and then there was a 3v2.
Yeah.
And Saka just like you think he'd either pass it or finish it, and it was like he just ran into the defender. It's like get him off. Like it's one of the things. It's like, why have you not taken this kid off? There's an over reliance on him, and then it was like we brought on Jorginho, and I was like, what? We need a goal. Like the subs didn't make any sense. I think he's panicking a bit as well with those things, and
and like you said, it could be the inexperience. I mean, Chris in the chat thinking Saka's doing his best version of Salah with that pen. But, I mean, and I think Chris is also giving you a bit more hope. He's saying at least you're scoring, which
we have to beat Southampton. We have to.
But I mean, I think for me though, to be honest with you, I think it's like you alluded to earlier. He's an inexperienced manager. You've got 2 players, I think, that have experienced really of any sort of trophy win. And I think, from my experience as a Liverpool fan, it took seasons to build to get to that point, and seasons of title runs and competing. Yeah. I mean, you think there was 2 seasons, I think we were top of Christmas, and we thought we were going to do it, and it came back. And I think you need that experience to get this. So I wouldn't be. I mean, this season, we'll see what happens. I mean, you're still ahead. You're still 4 points ahead. You still have City to play. So you could still do it. But what I would take solace in is the fact that it's a young squad, it's a young manager. Both of them are going to make mistakes, and they both need to develop that experience. So even if it doesn't happen this year and you finish second, would you have taken that at the start of the season?
I hate that question. Yes, I would have, but it's still a good season. Yes. If we finish second, that's a good season, regardless of even the. It's definitely. I mean, we've definitely bowled the league if we finish second, but it's a good season. That doesn't mean it's a bad season at all. It just means that it was in our hands. We couldn't get over the line. Man City are just inevitable. They just don't stop. Yeah, they just don't stop. So if we finish second within 3 points of Man City, that's an excellent season. And we did what we could. I'll just be more disappointed than angry. But
and if the investment's there, you can go again.
That's the other thing. I feel like January was a little bit of a miss in terms of we'll be looking back on that and going, could we have potentially added someone else to the squad that would have, helped in these games? But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Well, I mean, next Wednesday, I'm going to be shitting myself.
I know we shall look forward to that. And if you do want to follow Lucas on Twitter, it's certainly a good watch. Do an Arsenal game.
I don't know if I'm going to do a watch along for that Man City game. Oh, if we don't beat Southampton, absolutely not. I won't be doing it. I'm going anywhere near a watch along for that.
Oh, that would
but
be
now if we I will probably do one next Wednesday. Yeah.
I mean, I'm right in saying finishing second isn't a bad season. It means you've improved, and that's the best thing. And it is. It's growth. It's trust in the process.
Very good season.
Trust in the process. I mean, and from a West Ham perspective, I think they're on 31 points, a game in hand. They are if my maths is going to fail me, 4 points ahead of Nottingham Forest with a game in hand. Shah, do you think that puts them pretty much safe or in the driving seat, or do you think it's still a bit too dicey?
I think it definitely puts them in a good position, and obviously, like I said, they are picking up form compared to the teams below them. So yeah, I think they'll potentially be safe. I can't. I was worried for them a few weeks ago, but I just think with the teams below them and just how their form is, the fixtures from obviously they've still got to play the teams below them. I do think West Ham will be safe.
And another team battling to save themselves is Bournemouth. Tottenham 2, Bournemouth 3, which I think that sort of flatters Spurs a little bit, to be perfectly honest with you. What a game. I mean, Joe, how did that game make you feel?
I will admit I did expect it. I actually I had 2-1 no. I had Bournemouth to win in my Super 6. I don't know what it is with Spurs. Spurs and Chelsea, I've said it all season, they're just so inconsistent. I do not know how they're still up there, Spurs. It must just be because obviously the teams below them are obviously dropping points because they're just so inconsistent. I just don't rate them at all. But fair play to Bournemouth. They've been doing really well, pulled off some fantastic results. And I do think Bournemouth will be safe. I was looking at the fixtures before as well, to be fair to Bournemouth, and I think they've got some easy fixtures. Well, easy. You'd expect them to get things for them, especially if they're pulling off results like they have recently. So, yeah, Spurs, I just don't understand. I've said it all season. I just don't get them. they just freak me out.
It's just crap.
They really do freak me out.
I mean, and the thing is, they're just. I mean, we'll do a little bit of Spurs before we praise Bournemouth on there. But I mean, look, I mean, for me, Spurs, they're not changed anything. Something wasn't working. They got rid
Apart
of
from the manager.
Yeah, they got rid of the manager.
The assistant in.
Yeah, and nothing
makes no sense.
I don't.
He's just like running that club into the. I mean, honestly, if I was a Spurs fan, I'd be so. It's just daylight robbery. They're gonna have the most expensive ticket soon. I think they already do actually, and it's like it's a piss take. They don't invest properly into the squad. The new stadium is like it's impressive, and obviously they're doing gigs and stuff there, and F1 arcade and things come in. I'd be fuming if I was a Spurs fan with what I'm seeing. But you know what? Harry Kane will sign an extension because he's a loser. Sorry, he is. I don't like seeing talented footballers just waste their careers away and he has. It's like, yes, you'll score more goals than Shearer, but
yeah, and what? I agree with you.
What did your goals lead to?
I mean, his brother's done really well. He's really benefited. What a job to fall into.
Super agent.
Yeah, they're just like, do you want to sign another contract? What do I get? We'll signing on bonus. Oh yeah, superb. What's in it? Don't matter.
Just wasted time, hasn't he? It's only Man United, right? Man United is the only option.
Well,
or Bayern Munich, but he wants the record, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Chris has said there's £1,200 for a season ticket at Spurs. Whew. That's
the cheaper end as well.
That is some dollar bills, but yeah. So Spurs, we think you suck, Danny Levy. Sort your life out. You're a loser. But over to Bournemouth, I have to say, anybody that can get a game out to Dominic Solanke, you deserve my praise.
They've almost come out of nowhere, Bournemouth, the last month or so. Yeah. What's going on?
It's been, I mean, and it's when they've needed it, really. I mean, they've obviously the 3-2 win against Tottenham, 1-0 win against Leicester. Obviously they lost to Brighton, but Brighton are on fire. Then a 2-1 win against Fulham, the 1-0 against Liverpool. But when it matters, they really started to pull it out. I mean, do you think potentially it's? I mean, Lisa's saying in the chat they're a southern team. Do you think it's because the weather's changing? It's not quite so damp at the moment. It's getting a bit sunnier.
The beach.
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, Char, what do you think? Has anything changed, or what's going on?
I just think they've obviously hit a good patch. They've got some confidence after pulling off some good results, and they seem to be. I don't want to disrespect them in any way. They seem to be playing the teams at the right time as well. Like obviously, Tottenham when they've obviously hit a bad patch as well, but. I think with Bournemouth,
any point in the season.
Yeah, that is true. That is true, actually. But I just think, they've just hit some form and they're really high on confidence at the minute. That's all I can really put it down to. And playing quite well.
Nice. They're nice. I mean, Chris is saying Gary O'Neill, he thinks he's doing a fantastic job. Heather has said they're always the proverbial in February and March. And but they've got people like Tavernier and
Yeah,
Wheeler
that is true. That is true.
that have come back from injury. And incidentally, for any of our audio listeners, you can watch us live and be part of this conversation and educate us on the things that we don't know live in the chat on Mondays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. on YouTube and Twitch. We're looking at their fixture list as well. They've got, they are going to be the decision makers, I think, at the bottom. It's West Ham, Southampton, Leeds United, Chelsea, who might be in that relegation battle by that stage, Crystal Palace, and then Everton at the last game of the season. They're the kingmakers, aren't they?
They're all winnable games for him as well.
Yeah.
They're all winnable
If
games.
you want to stay up, yeah.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if they only drop 4 points out of all those games.
Yeah, they're probably a team to avoid at the moment, Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Chris is asking, can they finish in the top half? We were Bournemouth.
Yeah.
They're 14th at the moment. So they're a point behind Wolves, 10th. They are 9 points behind Fulham in 10th position.
40 points gets you in the top half now, doesn't it?
Yeah, at the moment. So they're not. They would probably, I imagine, in all seriousness, they could probably finish about 12th. They might. They could.
Insane.
They could potentially finish above Chelsea.
I hope so. But honestly, that would make my life.
I hope Chelsea get relegated.
They're 6 points behind. 6 points behind Chelsea. That's it. That's all there is. Both have got a lot of winnable games. I haven't taken a look at Chelsea's fixture list because that will be a giggle. But I mean, while we're on it, Heather did a predictor thing. I don't know what a predictor thing is. Is that like a Ouija board or something? Or are you speaking to them washer women, the ones that do the crazy predictions? I mean, Lisa's making her prediction early. She thinks Everton are going to be safe there, but I think looking at they could. I think Bournemouth, it would be finished 12th. There would be a cracking season. Chris in chat, I agree. And again, I think they could finish above Chelsea because Chelsea won, Brighton 2. Again, a result for me that flattered Chelsea. I think they were battered by Brighton.
Yeah, they got destroyed.
I mean, Lucas, watching that or following up or however you partook in that game, how did that make you feel?
It's just funny. Honestly,
yeah.
It's just pure entertainment. Chelsea and Spurs. It's just, but Chelsea even
It's like
more
a comedy
so.
sketch, isn't it?
It actually is. It's so funny what's going on in that club. This is like the biggest L in football I've ever seen. Imagine spending 600 million and you're what 12th.
But you know what? I saw a stat. I screenshotted something on my phone and I can't find my phone because I'm terribly disorganized. I've looked around and the only thing I can find in this room, incidentally, is I don't know if you've had a heavy Easter or not. I have, but my son is fed up with me stealing all of his snacks, so he's got a safe and they're all locked in the safe. So I can
love it.
But I can't find where my phone has gone because he's written his code down on there. But I think there was a stat that said something like the Brighton Chelsea game, Chelsea's starting 11 was 490 odd million. Brighton's was about 48. So,
yeah, if that.
There's about 450 million pounds worth of difference in the two squads. But I would quite comfortably say on the day, they didn't.
Brighton had like 26 shots. It was just constant. It was a battering.
I think I've got the stats here. Chelsea had 2 shots on target, 8 all game, and they didn't even have the most possession. They had the least possession.
It's absolutely embarrassing. Didn't they bring in Lampard to steady the ship? Wasn't that the exact quote? That was the exact quote, wasn't it? We brought in a familiar face to steady the ship.
Do you know what really makes me laugh as well? A few weeks ago on this pod, I was obviously calling Roy Hodgson, and I was mentioning that I think Crystal Palace were in a relegation. I know. Yeah. I was obviously saying that I think Crystal Palace were in a relegation battle. Crystal Palace are 3 points behind them now. 3 points behind them.
It's just, they're shocking. He's actually made them worse since he's been there. No new manager bounce. He's actually just made
Rob. The thing is, who's surprised? He got sacked. You sacked him because he wasn't good, and then
Exactly.
just bring him back because that's the team weren't behind him anymore. People weren't happy. He wasn't
And
performing.
you've got some of
very
those
well,
same
but-
players as well who are still there. They're suddenly going to go, well, Lampard's back. Let's start paying for him now.
I just don't get it. I mean, at least they're in the
Damage
chat.
is getting bad there. They could get up. They could honestly, they could be in a relegation battle next season because the damage is having him there with those players. It could be severe, irreparable damage going into next season.
I'm not sure. I mean, well, something that tickled me is that I saw in the paper today, Todd Bowley apparently went down to the dressing room to give the players a thrashing about embarrassing the club because they are the ones at the embarrassment. It's not this lunatic.
Well, he's so involved. He's too involved.
People. Yeah, who is he? Who is he? To be honest, I just.
He has bought. He has not bought Chelsea happiness. He has bought other fans from other clubs happiness because I'm honestly loving it. It sounds awful.
It's so funny.
Because my team are so bad this season. This makes my life. This is the only thing I've got this season, laughing at Chelsea and Spurs.
Do you know what? As a Liverpool fan at the moment, I concur. That is he's a legend. Doesn't make him a good manager. It doesn't.
Exactly.
It doesn't.
Exactly.
And what makes him not a good manager is the fact that he's shown and demonstrated he is not a good manager. And I mean, in speaking as a Liverpool fan, it is still currently Leeds 0, Liverpool 0. Leeds lead in the shots. They've had 4 shots to Liverpool's 3. We haven't had a single shot on target. Awesome.
Oh, no.
Although we've had 211 more passes.
Yeah, that's just between Henderson and Fabinho.
Awesome. Yeah. I am elated. That's great. And Lisa's bigging you up there, Shah, that Chelsea is bringing everybody joy. And
except for our own fans.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Chris is saying how not to run a club is Todd Bowley, and Heather, maybe Bournemouth can buy Mason Mount.
Oh.
I mean, I saw some sort of ridiculous figure that was slapped on him. Something like it was over 40 million. It was like over 60.
Only got a year left.
Yeah.
60 million.
60 million for a player that doesn't typically get into their starting 11.
It'd get into mine.
I hope we're talking about starting 11.
Yeah, we are. This is a fun podcast.
But I mean, Brighton, let's be fair. I mean, it is titled. We do title these podcasts, and very rarely does it feature anywhere in the podcast. But De Zerbi, I mean, he's made a mockery of Potter, really, or do we think he's just benefiting from his good work? What are your thoughts, Lucas?
It's a bit of both.
Yeah,
there's a lot of same players, muscle memory. See, De Zerbi, I think you can properly judge next season. But he's done a good job since he's come in. But I don't think you can judge him till next season once he starts bringing in his own players as well on top of what they got and shifting up a bit. But yeah, because they were playing well on the pod. It's not 9 o'clock yet. It's not they were playing bad on the pod. So they hired him because of his performances at Brighton consistently, and even he was having a good. Where were Brighton when he left? They were like 7th?
They were in the top
10.
Yeah,
they were up there, yeah.
Yeah. So they haven't, they've just maintained it throughout the season. So I think, next season you can judge De Zerbi. But knowing Spurs, they'll go and hire him straight away and then end up being a fraud. If he does join Spurs, I hope that happens. If not, I hope he has a very successful career at Brighton FC.
I mean, and Craig said in the chat, De Zerbi said he was grateful for the job that Potter had done. I mean, he's sort of showing, in fairness, Chelsea weren't doing awful when Potter took over. And, we've spoken to it before, so we're not going to labour the point. But obviously, Potter didn't do. He just couldn't cope with wrong job, wrong time. But Shah, before we move at Brighton, what do you think? Do you think this is the start of a special time for Brighton, or just a flash in the pan this season?
No, I really do. Obviously, each season now they've consistently got better and better, and. They play some really good stuff as well. I think it all depends on whether they can keep certain players. I know McAllister's been linked with, is it Manchester United and a couple of other clubs?
Everyone's linked with Man United now.
That is true. So I think he's a really good player. So obviously I think it depends on whether they can keep certain players. But yeah, as we were saying about the manager, I think he's got him playing some really good stuff. I think Brighton will be up there.
Yeah.
Next
They
season
could
too.
sneak a top 4 spot.
Yeah, that is. Yeah,
It would be beautiful. I mean,
Them
Chris in
and
the chat
Villa.
thinks they're losing in the FA Cup semi this Sunday, though.
Oh, I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
No, Varane and Martinez is a big miss.
Yes.
Is Rashford still out? I don't know because I don't care about Man United.
I don't. I think even so, if he comes back, he's not going to be 100%.
It's the defense, isn't it? That's a massive worry for Manchester United, especially the way Brighton are playing.
That's the thing. Attacking teams.
Super Harry Maguire. What?
Oh my god. That own goal against Seville makes me laugh so much.
I mean, he's that style of defense.
And power from his head. He was.
I thought it was magic. I mean, we won't go through the Man United game because there's a lot of stuff that we still want to get through, and we're a half an hour in already. But on the Man United front, I will say, I'm not sure if anybody saw this. I think it's Dermot Gallagher that does the refereeing bit for Sky Sports, just talking utter crap. His justification is it wasn't a handball really because it was very congested in that box.
Oh
so apparently, if there's players around, handball, fine. Don't
just go for it.
Yeah.
Slap your hand around it, do what you want.
I mean, what? I've never seen a corner taken with like two blokes hanging around in the box. It's like, you all right, mate? Yeah, where's everyone else? Are they just down having a water break, changing their boots? It's just we don't want to make it too congested. I just think it's the stupidest thing I've ever done. I think Man United fan in the chat, it was subjective. It was depending upon whether you wanted United to win or not. That's the level of it. But that was bizarre. I didn't. It was the explanation I didn't get. I didn't quite get that. But another bizarre result. Well fitted. It was a very good evening on Saturday for Aston Villa 3, Newcastle 0. Oh my days, Shah. How did that make you feel?
He's gotten playing some really good stuff, hasn't he, Emery? Like Ollie Watkins is a totally new player under him. I just think it's brilliant what he's done. I've always kind of thought he was a good manager, and with the right team, I think he can obviously progress. I think Aston Villa's perfect for him. Yeah, really, really well. Really
I mean, if you look at the results that he's had since, I mean, he lost to City and Arsenal, which is fine. I don't think they've lost a game since then. They beat Everton 2-0. They beat Palace 1-0. They drew with West Ham. They beat Bournemouth. They beat Chelsea. They beat Leicester City. They beat Newcastle. Now they beat Villa.
I think aren't they like third in the form table for the last like 10 games? I think they've got like something like 22 out of 30 points.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. Because they've been steamrolling and scoring goals as well, going from not being able to score anything and really struggling to bashing them in like no one's business. I mean, Chris, hope they celebrated like they won the league when they beat Newcastle. I'm assuming Newcastle.
They're only 6 points off Newcastle as well, aren't they? No,
they're
6.
I didn't realise they were 6.
They're
right behind them.
Yeah.
Villa have come out of nowhere.
They're
the most informed team behind Arsenal and City.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at the last 5 games. Yeah, they've City have won the last 5, and then Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Oh my days. Oh my awful fruit days.
Yeah.
That is doing a bit, isn't it? And just because I can't ignore it, because people accuse me of bias in the chat. Matt is saying Liverpool have had their fair share of decisions, but we've had some that hasn't. That's all I could say. It goes round and roundabouts. but yeah, Villa really, they're doing. Who would have thought that hiring a good manager that can manage teams would make a difference? Todd Bowley, who knew?
I feel like with them, though, they've always had good players, but Steven Gerrard just couldn't get them playing to the full potential.
Yeah, I think that was a job too soon for him. I really do. It was, and Craig said in the chat, Ollie Watkins had a blinder, 6 points, 6 points off Newcastle, and but somebody has just updated me, so I'm going to have to make an amendment in my ticker. I'm just going to double check.
Oh no!
I'm just going to double check this is correct before I make a fool
it
of
is.
myself.
Lucky.
And it is save, and there it is. Yes, I'm going to be ringing at my father later if this is maintained as an avid Leeds United fan. And we're going to be singing down, down, down. Leeds are going down. I won't, Dad. Honest. But I've done it now. He might be watching. You never
I
know.
hope he is. I hope he is.
Yeah, and apparently he was a
I hope
tapping.
he shouts at you.
He will. Yes, he would. He's big and scary, my dad. He would terrify me. But yes, so Villa, yes, Storm ahead. Emery. I mean, and what I quite like at the moment is the managers of not massive names, managers of not massive name clubs are the ones that are really doing bits in the league at the moment. I mean, and again, like your friend and mine, Roy Hodgson, winning 2-0. At Southampton, winning games again. It's just like he's flown in. He's like, I'm going to win a couple of games here, and I'm just going to bugger off then. Just get up my knobs, and I'm a walking sick foot of the stroll afterwards. I think this absolutely superb that he's just been parachuted in. But I think that covers most of the only thing that we haven't covered really is the relegation table. So I mean, Everton lost again to Fulham at the moment. I mean, it's just to give you the sort of bottom couple of teams. So Southampton are rock bottom with 23 points. Leicester then 19th on 25. Then Nottingham Forest on 27. Everton also on 27 points. And both they've all got the same amount of games played. And then Leeds at the moment on 30 points. And they're all on the same games played. Then you've got West Ham at 31, but with a game in hand. And then Bournemouth at 33. So I do think this is sort of bottoming out to the bottom five, really. Leeds, Everton, Forest, Leicester, and Southampton. I think we're all on consistently. Southampton are done.
Yeah,
I think we're all in agreement. And Leicester City,
should be, yeah. Leicester as well.
Yeah, I mean, and Leicester City, incidentally, if you want to know what's gone on with Leicester City, we will be recording this week an All About with Leicester City, and that will be with Leicester City. Is it Leicester Till I Die podcast? And we're going to be recording that this week. That'll be out in a few weeks, probably, I imagine. So keep an eye out for that. But they are down there as well. Does anybody think Leicester's got anything that can help them, or are they done for as well? Are we saying?
No, I don't even. Dean Smith as well. I don't see what he could possibly do.
I know.
But then again, I said it about Roy Hodgson, and look at him. So yeah, Leicester will stay up.
Roy Hodgson, you can kind of see why. But Dean Smith, I'm like, it was Jesse Marsh and Dean Smith. I was like, are you trying to get relegated?
It's good. It is.
They were hoping that they'd get Graham Potter, but obviously wanted to have a break from football because pretty much as soon as he got sacked, he was linked with it, and straight away he said no to the job. So I think they thought they were getting him, and obviously it backfired.
You have to get proper managers now. It's like it's all about systems now. It's like you can't get a manager who's all right and hope a couple of players. It doesn't work like that anymore.
Yeah.
That's why Chelsea have failed spending 600 million. It's like you have to spend it on coaches and backroom staff and training facilities, because majority of players now are not going to win you games on their own.
Yep.
So you need to get some proper coaches in.
I mean, and Heather's
like, oh my god,
I know. I mean, Heather's in the chat. I mean, goal difference is a big one. Obviously, Bournemouth's goal difference is minus 28.
I don't think it'll get to that though. I really don't think it'll get to that, especially with the running Bournemouth have as well. They pick some crucial points up at the right time, so I don't think it'll get to that because I just think the teams below them are a lot poorer.
Yeah, and then
Leicester got winnable games though. Going back to this, like they've got Wolves, Leeds, and Everton in their next three, so they have to to beat those teams.
All the bottom teams. What I've noticed is the bottom sort of 5 or 6 are all playing each other now.
Yeah, they've left it right up until the end.
It's so interesting. I mean, Craig in the chat saying Dean Smith did a decent job at Villa, and I thought it was a weird sacking, really, but it was a strange one. I mean, Chris is saying between Leicester or Leeds to join Saints and Forest, he thinks Forest are done for. I hope
that would be funny. It would be funny if
I don't know. I don't know what I think personally, but if we've all accepted Southampton. Who's your next two, Lucas?
I'm not Bournemouth are playing well. I'm not entirely convinced yet, but they are doing very well at the moment. But I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still going. I'm going Leicester, Southampton. And then that last one is Leeds, I think.
So they Everton will save it. Shah, anything
I think
different?
Everton will save it, yeah.
Mine's changed again. It changes every week. But I just think off form table as well. I think Leicester and Forest are at the bottom of the form table. And I think they're really struggling. So I'm going to go with Southampton, Leicester, because I just think Leicester at the minute, they've just not got a lot on and off the pitch. I think they're in trouble. And Nottingham Forest, watching them the other day as well, I just think they really are struggling. So this week, it's Southampton, Leicester and Forest.
This week I have been mostly relegated.
Last week it was Leeds. It'll be Everton next week.
I don't think Everton. I think it'll be the only teams from where it is now. Yeah, I actually think yeah, I'm probably with you. It was one of those two. I just think Leicester, they haven't got the fight for it. I mean, Martin thinks Madison's going to Newcastle in the summer, potentially. I think he said everyone agrees that Madison's done, but something that isn't done is 2-0. Oh yes,
I was going to say
Liverpool too.
The hardest last few fixtures. They haven't survived by. They've got 3 games to save their season because their last 4 fixtures is they got Man City away, then they got Newcastle at home, then they got West Ham away, and then Spurs. So really, they've got 3 points against Spurs in those last 4 games. But the other 3, I don't think they beat West Ham away, and I don't think they beat Man City or Newcastle, regardless of where it's played. No. So it's tricky. Yeah.
I mean, I'm Chris in the chat. It could go to the last round. I agree. I think it could.
I hope it does to make it more interesting.
I think it will for everything. Maybe not the league, but I think top. Well, actually, no. I think the league will go to the last day.
No, it's intriguing. It is difficult and it's exciting, and it's probably been. Let's be fair. I think on reflection, it's been such an interesting season at the top and at the bottom, and it's so topsy too. I mean, let's be fair. As much as everybody wants to give me shit and laugh and giggle and no one expected Liverpool at 8th this season. Nobody.
I had 9. I'm joking.
Well, the only thing I will say, I'm pretty sure Lucas put Chelsea somewhere quite low down.
It did.
I put them at 8th.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also put West Ham 5th in that. Something stupid.
That's not a bad shot, but nobody would have expected a lot of the results.
Chelsea fans would take 8th right now.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd be buzzing for 8th.
They probably would, yeah. Can they get relegated? Can Chelsea get relegated?
What are they on? They're on 39 points.
They've got enough, haven't they?
No, that's sad.
If they lose all of their games for the rest of the season, I'll take that. They lose every single game.
I mean, let's think who they've got coming up. They've got Brentford, which to be fair, yeah. I mean, they got you guys at Arsenal, Bournemouth away, Nottingham Forest, City, and Newcastle.
Brighton, Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Oh my God, they could actually lose all of those games.
I think
Forest is the only one. Yeah, Forest 1-0. They'll win that one. But every other game, I think they're losing all of those unless they suddenly sort it out.
It's just beautiful. I think this is great. I mean, Heather doesn't think good news could take it last into the end. But I don't think Bournemouth. I don't think you'll need to worry Bournemouth. I think you'd be fine. Don't you worry. You do not need to worry. But that is the wonderful Premier League. What a comprehensive, detailed review that we do, full of wonderful analysis. And something else that we do consistently with a lot of analysis is our European League reviews. We're all over it all the time. As you can remember, we cover this in depth and with full expertise. But La Liga, which is typically young Sam. Young Sam isn't with us today, and I hope you're having a lovely evening. He's doing something this evening. He did tell me what it was. I've forgotten. Whatever it is, I hope you enjoy it because you certainly deserve it. But over in La Liga, they are still getting red cards. They love a red card. I think last week was like 5 or 6 games had red cards. The week before was like 3 or 4. This week it was only the 2, but it was the residential home of Sevilla versus Valencia. It was actually a red card for Valencia. Valencia in a bit of trouble, losing 2-0. I mean, Football Manager favorite, which Lucas might know, Suso, scoring for Sevilla.
Oh my god!
Yeah. So Sevilla 2-0 against Valencia. Valencia sitting there, as you can see, at 18th position. Their form table is not looking very clever. 3 points off Almeria in 17th position. You wouldn't be surprised if Valencia go down this season, which would be. It'd be sad for Valencia. Unsurprising. They've had a really not enjoyable season so far. But yeah, so losing to Sevilla. The next game with the red card was my local team, my local Spanish team, Elche, and another one. What I never understand, and there's a lot of in Spain, is like 90+ minute red cards. I don't quite understand that one. The 92nd minute. Some Cosenta Felci. There's some cool noise going on in the background. I don't know what that is. What's that?
What is it?
It's some dog outside.
Yeah,
I was like, is it my kids?
So there's a bit of dog fighting going on outside Lucas's apartment at the moment. So if anyone's lost their dog, please report to Lucas's apartment.
It's just one of those dogs that just doesn't shut up sometimes. She'll just be sitting there and won't say anything to the dog.
They're just sitting there eyeballing it.
Shut your dog up.
But Chris is saying Valencia's still a huge club and say it'll be sad if they go down. But I mean, my local team Elche, they look like they're in trouble. They've won 2 games all season. And it's one of those was a couple of games ago. It's not looking very good. They lost 2-0 to Girona. My Girona beat them 2-0. It was a sad time. It's a sad time. And I mean, in the chat, we've got Martin ask Atletico, the form team, will they pit Madrid to second? I wouldn't have thought so, but you never know. I mean, what did they do this weekend? They beat Almeria 2-1. Antoine Griezmann, with his wonderful pink hair that he's sporting at the moment, scored twice. Griezmann actually came out today, I think, or yesterday in an article to say he loves being at Atletico Madrid. He loves playing for the team, for the manager, and he's having a wonderful time there. And that's where he's going to be. And Atletico Madrid, who have they got coming up? They got any big games? They've got Barcelona. They're playing Barcelona next, so they will probably lose that one. Other than that, every game's winnable in La Liga if you're one of the top 3 teams. That's why it is not as wonderful as our league. But some of the other interesting games from the weekend, there weren't that many, to be perfectly honest with you. Barcelona, though, however, drew 0-0 with Getafe. A lot of chat at the moment about Lucas Podolski. Good God. Robert Lewandowski.
Well, you retired.
Oh, God, my days. It was the ski at the end threw me entirely. Robert Lewandowski. There's a lot of chat that he should have been subbed off. I know. He's going to be clipping that. You know that's going to be one of the shorts.
Definitely.
You? Oh,
Definitely.
My days. But yeah, so but people are complaining a little bit about Lewandowski. His form's not going as well, apparently, and this, that, and the other. Chris saying he must be 60. He's about 34. But this season, he scored 17 goals and 6 assists in 25 games. So that's not that bad. In the Champions League, he's actually got a goal a game for Barcelona. I don't know what more that you want. The man's like, he's nearly as old as I am. I'm not quite sure what they can do. And just joining the chat is Rusty Shackelford. He hopes all the Chelsea players and fans step some fresh cow poop. And if you catch us on YouTube, when you can go back, we did all have a wonderful laugh at Chelsea. If you're only just joining us, we had a wonderful laugh at Chelsea. It was absolutely superb. We all thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. But yeah, so it's a Getafe Barcelona 0-0, and I think there was another game that I wanted to talk about, and then Real Madrid beat Cadiz. That was it. But yeah, unfortunately, it looks like Elche could be going down. Valencia look like very probable that they're going to be going down, which is heartbreaking. Barcelona's won this league. That is it. That is all your La Liga. You probably get it better when Sam does it, I imagine, next week. But moving on to Serie A. Oh!
Right. God, if Napoli bottle this league, it'll be the biggest. Everyone will forget about Chelsea if they end up throwing away. No, but they've had a bit of a shaky few games. Napoli, they've still got to play. I think it's Inter, Lazio, and one more of that top 7. But I think they've got enough of a lead to basically complete it, so they should be all right. Lazio in form. I didn't think Lazio were gonna do it, but I think they've secured themselves a top 4 spot. They're very difficult to beat at the moment. So the real sort of like competition in Serie A is between 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and I would have included Juve because they're on a good run. But the last 2 games, it's like they couldn't afford to lose games at this point, not 2 in a row like that. Plus, Juve still got to play Milan, Lazio, and not Roma. It's Roma or Atlanta. I think they've got to play. Inter have also got to play 4 of the top 7 remaining in their last 8 games, so they're screwed, and they're also on shocking form, which is why nobody knows how on earth they're managing to beat Benfica, who are flying in the Portuguese league. But it looks pretty much, I'd say that top 3 is pretty fixed. It's just whether Roma catch Lazio, and then Milan, Inter, and Atlanta for that last spot.
I want Roma to do it.
I hope
want
Roma to do it as well. Go on, Mourinho.
Just Trusty in the chat, he's saying talk about Napoli could throw it away like Arsenal had about to balk at 9-point lead.
Wasn't a 9-point lead, was it? No, it wasn't. They're the game in hand, I think. It's Man City. They're an unstoppable force. They can't be stopped. They're Thanos. Pep just needs to leave. We just need to sign a petition. If Man City managed to win this year, we all just need to sign a petition to have Pep Guardiola removed and banned from the Premier League because it's not fair.
I agree. I'll sign it.
Game hand up, yeah.
Okay, I mean, Martin said the chat. AC Milan's form has taken a titanic shift. They've gone from performing well to doing pretty.
Champions League, I think, has distracted them as well because they're looking at it like, oh, we could actually. Both Milan teams are probably. I don't know. I fancy AC against Napoli, even with the 1-0, even with Osman back. Napoli just look a bit like, let's just get the league over the line. So I fancy AC Milan to get in that semi-final. So it looks like it would be both Milans on that side, which could hurt their league form. God, how funny would that be if Man City get to the final and they lose to Inter or AC Milan?
Oh, that would be epic. I mean, Chris in the chat thinks Pep will leave once they win the Champions League. So
good, give it to them this year.
He's going to be at Man City forever, though. That's what that.
No, they're going to win this year. I need them. I need them to go all the way this year, or at least to the final, so they leave us alone.
But moving on to then the Bundesliga, a bit of a dull weekend. Lots of draws, loads of draws. Some teams drew, some teams won, and some teams lost. Who would have thought that that's what happens in a weekend of football? But you had Cole Mans with a 1-1 draw, Eintracht Frankfurt and Mönchengladbach. They had a 1-1 draw. Stuttgart and Dortmund had a 3-3 draw as well, with a red card for Stuttgart at the 17th minute, I believe. 39th minute, sorry. So they had the whole of the second half with just 10 men. And it took a 92nd minute goal from Giovanni Reina to bring that back to 3-3. So Dortmund right at the death, maintaining all of those draws. Another team that drew was Union Berlin, who also had a red card in the 61st minute and managed to hang on for the rest of the game. It's sad. Berlin, I think they're struggling a bit. I think they're going to, especially with that red cards, really going to hit them because they haven't got the biggest squad. in the Bundesliga, and that's a shame. But I think, I'm not 100% sure. I should double check. I believe they've played most of the big games. There's only 2 real big games at the moment, but they have got Mooch and Klutch and Gladbach. And they've got to play Leverkusen and Freiburg, so there's still a couple of big games to go. I think they might slightly run out of steam, unfortunately. Your friend of mine, Union Berlin. Freiburg is still putting points on the board with a 2-1 win over Werder Bremen, and the other team, there's another team that won as well in that area. I did see it. RB Leipzig, I believe, they won 3-2 against Augsburg. And yes, Chris said in the chat that I left the best till last because he is the best. Xavi Alonso, the bestest midfielder, the bestest human being, my friend and yours. He drew 0-0. They drew 0-0 with Wolfsburg, but I'm still going to admire the fact that he hasn't dropped points in blooming ages prior to this, and the leap that he's had, the change around that he's had, that is superb. Hopefully he'll do another good season or 2 in the Bundesliga, and then he can come home. He can come home and join all of his friends in Liverpool, God willing. And Bayern Munich are probably going to win the league. Probably. And they drew 1-1 with Hoffenheim. What I did want to say is, at the moment, what we haven't touched on is Sadio Mane, incidentally, over at Bayern Munich. I'm not sure if you've seen this. Fighting? Sane and Sane were fighting.
Yeah.
So did you catch any of this, guys?
Yeah, I heard about it. He wants to come back to Liverpool, apparently.
He should never have left. It was his own
I was
fault.
about to say that he
shouldn't have left.
But then I think
it makes sense on paper, to be honest, but I don't know what went wrong over at Bayern.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are giving him a grief at the moment, though. But I think if you look at his stats, it's 20 games that he's played. He's had 10 goal contributions. So go at every other game, he's either scoring or getting an assist, which I don't think is awful. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's not tearing it up like he was at Liverpool, but it's not awful. And he had a big injury at some point, I believe, at the mid-start of the season, I believe. But yes, he was left out to the game against Hoffenheim for punching Sane in the mouth after an argument at the Man City game, which is just wonderful. I think that is. I don't condone violence. We don't condone violence here. Even though Chris in the chat thinks it was a cracking punch. But he shouldn't have left. So Sane versus Sane, and Sane was the winner of the Sane head off. And moving over to League. Over at League. You can see Marseille have now overtaken Lens at the top of the table because PSG don't exist because you suck. But yeah, so Lens lost to a team that shouldn't really be in that league, that don't exist. But they've been knocked off the top by Marseille. Marseille beat Helen of Troy 3-1. They're Troyes. I don't think if that's the right name or not. But so some of my favourite fixture was Nice Brest. Nice Brest on the weekend. It was 1-0. 1-0 to Brest. Beat Nice. Clermont's Foot beat Angers 2-1. Just superb names. I think this is brilliant. Nantes lost 2-1 to Angers. How do you pronounce that, Lucas? You're a wordsmith, surely. Surely you know how to
I got a
that.
C in French at school, so I don't know about that.
You don't want Lens to finish top. I'd like Marseille. I'd like Marseille to win. When you like Marseille to win Ligue 1?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that'd be lovely.
As long as it's not that team.
Who's their is they still got is AVB still their manager?
At Marseille? No.
Who is it?
They still got Guendouzi.
Oh, that's a doozy. But that is legal. Marseille leading at the top there. Angers look like they're going to be going down, and that really angers their fans. And now over to the real football. The real football that everyone wants to know about. The leagues that Charlotte is looking forward to all week. This has been it's Monday. So she's been looking forward thoroughly to covering the lower leagues. Charlotte, tell us what has been going on with the real footballers played.
Yes, so in the Championship, Burnley, newly promoted Burnley, are still top on 91 points, despite their 0-0 draw to Reading. And just as we're talking about Burnley, we've actually got an All About Burnley episode coming out this Thursday. Me and Sam were talking to Dan from Turf Moor House podcast about all things Burnley. It's in the name, and it was a really good laugh, actually. So please tune into it. That's out this Thursday at 8:00 on YouTube. Enough of a plug-in. Let's get back
so
to the
professional.
championship. I know.
tell you what, you seem like an award winner to me. That was award winning.
I fluked it. In second, we've still got Sheffield United on 79 points. They won 4-1 at home to Cardiff, and they are actually now 5 points clear of the playoffs. So, yeah, I think it'll take a lot for them to mess up now, but I did jinx Stevenage in League 2, so you never know. In the playoffs, in third place, we have Luton on 74 points. They won 2-0 away at Rotherham. Fourth place, we've got Middlesbrough on 71 points. They beat Norwich 5-1. Woo! Michael Carrick's men beating Norwich 5-1.
We're on Norwich. Norwich are 10th now, aren't they?
Yeah, it's still very close, though. It is still very close in the playoffs, so you never know. In fifth place, we have got Millwall on 65 points. They won at home 2-0 to Preston North End. Blackburn have the last playoff position. They're on 63 points, and they had a boring 0-0 draw against Hull, but a point's a point. They didn't lose. But yeah, looking at the playoffs now, we have Coventry in seventh place. They've got 62 points. I know. Just at the beginning of the season, they were really low, weren't they? I thought they'd be fighting a relegation battle, but they've really put some form together. Preston are in eighth as well on 62 points. Sunderland and Norwich both have 61 points, 9th and 10th. And then you've got West Brom in 11th position on 60 points. So the playoffs is really close. So any of them teams, I think, could pull off.
I mean, and Chris in the chat was saying, Bubba, they've just dropped too many points recently.
Yeah, they have.
And Simon Todd in the chat, he said it's a big game on Wednesday, Blackburn versus Coventry City. I mean, I
like Coventry. I love my team, Coventry City there. Jamie Allen. It was
I was going to say my wife's from Coventry, and my daughter was also born in Coventry.
Oh, I love that. We had a player for Rochdale in the youth team called Jamie Allen, and he's playing for Coventry now. And yeah, I always look and see how he's doing. One of my favourite ever players for us. Oh. I just thought I'd say it.
I mean, Chris in the chat, he's saying Blackburn's got their game in hand, but he's cheering for Sunderland.
Oh.
I just want to see another series on Netflix.
Do you know what? I really want Luton to go up.
Oh.
Really want Luton to go up. I think they're my pick for the playoffs. In relegation, still the same teams. In 22nd, we've obviously got Reading on 42 points. They drew 0-0 against Burnley. 23rd point, we've still got Blackpool on 38 points, but they did have a 1-0 win against Wigan. So, yeah, it was the bottom of the table clash, and Blackpool managed to get the points, but I still don't think it'll do them any good because I personally think Wigan and Blackpool are both down, which is unfortunate to see because they're both northern teams.
I mean, Wigan, you can sort of get Wigan's more of a sort of rugby place, isn't it, really? But Blackpool, I don't. I think it's sad. I've always seen the journey of Blackpool over the last 10 years, probably. It's been quite depressing, isn't it?
Yeah, same with Wigan as well, to be fair, because you think it wasn't that long ago they won the FA Cup and they were in the Premier League under like Roberto Martinez. So I just think those teams who have obviously, it's the northern teams, you notice is a regular pattern. It's the northern teams that really do seem to struggle. And I think it's because there's so many teams in like a close space to one another. We've obviously got Manchester United, Manchester City and Liverpool, your big ones. So I think the lower teams, they do seem to struggle.
And do you think financially as well? I mean, there's not as much money in the northern teams as well in the south?
Yeah, possibly. And I just think with obviously, I think a lot of them tend to support your Manchester Uniteds and your Manchester Cities. So it is difficult for the lower teams to compete.
I mean, and you're being called out in the chat, Shah, by Alex Russell, who's saying, whoa, Shah, I thought we were boys. You got to back Millwall.
Oh, I do apologise. I just kind of like the story behind Luton because obviously, as I mentioned like last week, I remember the times where, then again, Millwall as well. I do remember playing Millwall. Oh, I'm kind of getting myself into a bit of a situation here, aren't I? So I'm just going to
because you're just too nice. You're too nice.
That is
Greg's saying Wigan's never been the same since Dave Whelan stepped down, and that's true. But the man's super old. He's super old. And Chrissy's also said that's why Dale struggles because there's too many big clubs.
It's honestly so true. And we just can't compete with them. We really can't. And especially, it was hard enough anyway, but just with the cost of living and everything now, and obviously since COVID, and people are obviously, everything's just far too expensive now. We're just struggling, and the lower teams really are struggling.
I mean, Heather's in the chat, Luton or Millwall. Why don't both of them go up?
Imagine Millwall, West Ham. Millwall, West Ham would be,
do you know what?
Juicy, wouldn't it?
If it means Sheffield United don't, I'd be happy with Luton and Millwall going up. But yeah, I wouldn't want to be the police for that. Millwall, West Ham. Oh dear God! But that moves us on to League One.
Yeah, very interesting in League One as well, because we do have someone at the top. Obviously, we've got Plymouth, 86 points, 1-0 away win to Exeter, so they are back at the top. But Ipswich in second place. We've got a newbie.
God blimey, that is tight, isn't it?
I know, we have got a newbie. 85 points. It was a very close game, though. They beat Charlton 6-0. Very close. I know.
Take that.
I know. Charlton actually did have a man sent off, but in Ipswich's defence, they were already 5-0 up when that happened. So yeah, they're our new second place, set for automatics if it does end up like this. But as we mentioned, it is very, very close. Sheff Wednesday have obviously drifted off. They've hit some bad form recently, some really bad form.
It's like the day of bottlers, isn't it? I mean, Martin in the chat
said
Sheffield United become huge bottlers.
They are.
And he also did say earlier on, he's saying, come on, you Janners, top of the league. And there's a tough game against Shrewsbury, but he's very confident. Very confident. Alex is also saying you could do without Plymouth coming up because that's a slog of an away day. I like Plymouth, though. I don't know what it is. There's something about Plymouth that I like. I stayed at a nice hotel there once and had some lovely pasty. But I like it.
They just seem like a friendly bunch as well. Like every time we've been to Plymouth or they've come to us, they're just very friendly as well. So yeah, a good club.
An old best friend of mine was a big Plymouth fan. He was a nice guy until he wasn't.
So yeah, third place we've got Sheff Wednesday. They actually got beat 3-2 to Burton. So yeah, as we mentioned, they are finding a way to bottle it now. They are really messing up and at the worst time possible. Fourth place we've got Barnsley on 81 points. They had a 5-1 home win against Forest Green, who have now officially been relegated into League Two, unfortunately. But we all knew it was coming. In fifth spot, we've got Bolton on 71 points. They beat Oxford 1-0, and they are a point above Peterborough, who are in sixth place now, and they actually lost to strugglers Cambridge 2-0, so they've hit a bit of bad form. And just under them, in seventh place, we've actually got Derby. So it is quite close because they're on 69 points and they managed a 1-1 draw against Bristol Rovers. So like in the Championship, it is very close for playoffs.
It is tight, isn't it? I mean, 86, 85, 84, 81. Those top four, that is tight. And then 71, 70, 69, 65, 64. Sheesh kebab.
It's the same in League Two as well. I'll get onto that after. But it's all really, really close. But relegation, we've still got the same teams, but there's been a bit of a change around in order. 21st, we've got Cambridge on 40 points. Even though they did have a 2-0 win, they are in relegation still. Morecambe are just below them on 38 points, and they actually beat Wickham 1-0. I'm getting confused. 23rd spot, we've got Accrington on 38 points as well. They actually lost 5-2 at home to Fleetwood, and they had a man sent off, so not good for Accrington. And as we mentioned before, unfortunately, Forest Green have been relegated, and they are at the bottom on 26 points. So, yeah, not good for Forest Green.
There's actually been tune changes. I updated the ticker a moment ago, but it's changed. It's changed again. It's, if you give me 2 seconds, the game is adjusted, and we are now. There we are. There we are. It is now 3-1.
Oh wow!
It changed to 2-1. I updated the ticker, ready to put it in there, and then Jota scored. so we've had Gakpo, Salah, and Jota score for Liverpool, and Sinistera scored just after the break on the 47th minute, but then Jota brought it back on the 52nd. And quick, Chris has updated me there because I did miss it. I did miss out. Heather said in the chat that Derby fans are class. They'd love them to come up and they feel bad for the situation that they've got.
Yeah, they are. They are really class Derby fans. And when we went through that situation with our hostile takeover, Derby were going through financial troubles at the time as well. And a lot of their fans supported us in our struggles. So, yeah, I do have a soft spot for Derby. I think really good set of fans.
And apparently Forest Green beat Sheffield Wednesday a couple of weeks ago. They lose it. So Sheffield Wednesday really are. They're making
isn't it?
They're making a concentrated effort not to go up then Sheffield Wednesday automatically. But on to everybody's favourite league, the league that everybody comes here to watch.
Not my favourite league. I hate this league.
I actually went to my first ever League 2 game on the weekend.
I know. I've actually got a bit here for you to talk about as well, because obviously you played, not you, Newport played Hartlepool, so I do want you to speak a bit about that. But at the top, we have got Leyton Orient, no change, and I don't think there's going to be any change because personally, I think they've won it. 84 points at the top. They had a 2-0 away win at Sutton. Second place, we've got Northampton on 74 points, and they drew 0-0 to Carlisle. I don't know what I was. My mind went blank then. Third spot, we've got Stevenage now. They've took over Stockport on 73 points. They beat Wimbledon 2-1 at home, and they're back in third place, which I'm happy about because I did jinx them. So I had a lot of Stevenage fans messaging me on Twitter. So yeah, I do apologise to Stevenage fans, but I am glad you're back up there. In the playoffs, we have got Stockport, and this is how close it is, on 71 points. They drew 1-1 at Gillingham. Carlisle in fifth position. I don't know what I'm talking about now. It's League 2. It gives me anxiety. It really does give me anxiety. Carlisle in fifth place on 71 points. They drew 0-0 to Northampton. Sixth place, we have got Bradford on 71 points. They beat Rochdale 3-0. Woo. I'm not going to say anything else on that matter. And on seventh, I just don't want to talk about it. I'm depressed. I am depressed. And then seventh spot, we have got Mansfield now in the playoffs on 66 points, despite drawing 1 apiece to Grimsby. Relegation, 23rd points. We have Hartlepool on 39 points. They lost 2-0 away at Newport. How was your experience, Josh? Did you enjoy it?
Do you know what? It was actually really good fun. My boy, the last time I'm trying to introduce him into football because he's not like a big football fan. I took him to see Cumbrian Celtics play in the Welsh JD League because it was a £5 for all of us to go, just £5. But I took him along to the game. It was substantially more than that. In fact, it was probably like 6 times the cost. But he said to me afterwards, my boy said, Dad, it was well worth it. And so he really enjoyed himself. It was really good. The atmosphere was really good.
I love that.
Baking hot. I actually had to take off both. I thought it was going to be cold. So I had to take off his jacket and an extra top that he had. I took the hat off, everything. It was boiling hot, but it was really good. We really enjoyed it. The quality of the football from Newport was actually quite good. They battered Hartlepool. It's the most comfortable 2-0 victory I think I've ever seen.
I was quite shocked about that because Hartlepool have been picking up some form recently. They've had a managerial change. John Askey, who was at York, has come in there and they've been playing some really good stuff. But I think they've got a few more injuries, unfortunately, like they did at the beginning of the season. So I don't know if they had to change formation and it really didn't work for them. But
you know, it was right from the off. Newport were on them right from the off. And I mean, Bogle, their centre forward, he was dangerous. Every time the ball went up, they literally crapped themselves.
Yeah.
So they didn't know what to do. And fair play, Omar Bogle pointed out my boy. My boy was cheering and
Aw.
clapping. We're in the family section. He come across and actually pointed and eyeballed him. And my boy
Love
loved
that.
it. He was absolutely elated. And it was just really good. I think we definitely go again. And a 2-0, the most comfortable 2-0 I think
Yeah.
I've ever seen. For too much food. You will never guess how much. I got a burger and chips and a drink. Guess how much that cost me? Burger, chips, and a drink.
£6.
I'm gonna go for like a tenner.
£11.50.
Oh wow.
£11. I was outraged. I was absolutely outraged. But that aside, it was a really good day. It was really lovely. And I felt so happy that we beat Hartlepool 2-0 for you. Give them
And
an
then we went
absolute
and messed
thumping.
it up. We went and
There.
messed it up.
What happened, Shah?
It was just it was just awful. I think we it was the hope again that kills you, because we're obviously going a good run again. We're winning some games, we're pulling off great results, and then it's just like a big massive slap in the face. And yeah, it's the end for us. I thought it was the end anyway, but yeah, it's not good. Obviously Crawley 22nd place now on 41 points. They actually won 2-1 against Tranmere. Tranmere have been awful this season and they're just liabilities, but guaranteed tomorrow if they play us. So it'll probably be a win. It'll probably be a win for them. I think if Crawley end up winning and we lose to Tranmere, I think that officially relegates us from what I've heard. So yeah, it's not good at all. I think we've all kind of, a few weeks ago, we all came to the conclusion that it was National League for us, but then that little bit of hope kind of kept us going. But yeah, I think it was just a bit of a reality check.
I mean, and Chris in the chat, he says,
yeah,
they were utter, for the Spotify, for all of our audio listeners on Spotify and Amazon, they were utter rubbish. For those of you who are in the chat, you can see exactly what.
I really want to say that as well. I really want to say it, and there's a lot of things I really want to say, but I can't, and I'm not going to because I'll get into a lot of trouble. So, yeah, but we need a total rebuild. First of all, we've not got a manager. Jim McNulty's just caretaker manager at the minute. So, I think personally, because we've not really got the funds, we need someone who's a name and establish themselves in the lower league, because that's all that we can really that's all we can really hope for to try and get us back up there. I personally think we are going to struggle, but if we do get the right name for it, you never know where it could take us, because even if Wrexham and Notts County do go up to League Two, which it's looking likely, I think there's a lot more teams in the National League that have a bigger budget still to us. So I think it's going to be a massive struggle. We need a total rebuild, and yeah, not good times, but there's plenty of new grounds to go to what I've never been to before, so that's a positive. I guess.
Yeah, that'll be nice. I mean, Craig in the chat said it'd be sad to see Rochdale go.
Yeah.
I remember they should have beat them in the league a while ago. And Chris wants Mickey Mellon.
I want Mickey Mellon as well. I've said this from the start. Obviously, he's not long since been sacked at Tranmere, and he got Tranmere up from obviously National League to League Two. So I think he'd be someone perfect for the role. Like I mentioned before, we've not really got the funds to compete with some of these teams. So I think our next managerial appointment is vital, and we do need someone with that National League experience.
And you never know, maybe in the next season we could do a bit more time, maybe covering the National League, perhaps even a whole show dedicated to lower leagues.
Depends if we do all right. If we're doing rubbish, then no. Going.
I mean, but something I will say, I've seen I've recently, for reasons, you know, the Twitter whatever you call it that generates what you see. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of Notts County fan accounts, nothing positive about their own club. They're not telling me anything about Notts County. I can tell you every bit of experience they've had of Wrexham. No, everything. I can tell you all of Wrexham's results, all of the officials and everything by following the Notts County feed. It's just the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. I mean, Chris saying the National League's the toughest thing to get out of.
Honestly, it really is. And this is what frustrates me with some fans, because they automatically, it's like us when we got relegated from League One to League Two. They instantly think we're going to get promoted again, and it's not going to happen. And it's just a whole different league down there, and it's so tough. Like, you've got to adjust. You've got to get players who are obviously experienced in the National League, because it's just like a totally different league down there. And it's like Stockport struggled. There's only really Hartlepool who came back up, and that was because they had Dave Challoner, who's now Stockport's manager, as the manager in the National League, and he was a great, fantastic manager. So that's why I think this next managerial appointment for us is vital, and it could even make or break us.
Well, you never know. You might have you've got Ryan Reynolds at Wrexham. Maybe you can get like Seth.
I've been trying.
Yes,
I absolutely love Chris Evans, Captain America. He's my favorite actor.
Oh, there you go.
I've been tweeting him. I've been tagging him in every single positive tweet about Rochdale. There's not many of them. Don't get me wrong. He's probably looked at it and thought she's
yeah.
The banter on this one. But yeah, I'm working on it. I am working on it.
So Charlotte's working for any celebrities, you know.
I didn't think of Seth Rogen though, so thanks, guys. I'm gonna tag him in this as soon as I get off.
Well, yeah, exactly, because you know he's that sort of comedy guy. Can you imagine Ryan Reynolds and then we got Seth Rogen?
Exactly.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the Twitter post?
The football at Rochdale's comical, so we'll enjoy it.
Yeah, you know, he looks good in blue. I think,
exactly.
You know,
I'll get him a Her Game 2 badge.
Yeah, I think it'll be absolutely ideal. Although I think the language, I think you're going to struggle being a family club. Should that one happen? But do you know what? Chris is on it. Chris is on it more than I am. I'm going to try and update my ticker very quickly. I'm not going to update who scored it because it is too much, but it is now
4-1.
Being changed to 4-1. Yes, it is indeed. Salah scored the fourth one, allegedly. He did. 64th minute.
I'm changing my relegation predictions again now.
You're throwing Leeds in the mix.
Yeah, Forest is staying up.
I mean, Liverpool have only had 4 shots on target. 4 shots on target, 4 goals. It's all you need.
That's all you need.
We've actually had less shots than Leeds. What are you going to do? It doesn't matter because we're going to win, and we're all winners no matter what's happened in the football. We're all winners here, and you're all winners for joining us. So thank you massively, everybody that has joined us on the chat. Thank you to all of our audio listeners for picking up and listening, of which there are some picking up. Everybody watches us back on YouTube. Again, massive thank you. It's really lovely to see the interaction and the numbers that have been creeping up on all formats. So we really do appreciate that as a team. Lucas, obviously, everybody's going to want to follow you. Everybody wants more Lucas in their life. I wish I could. Where can they find you? Where are you?
Crab Dribble on Twitch, TikTok, and Twitter. And I'll try to think if there's something else I've missed. No, just those two.
Did you do?
But I've got underscore at the end on TikTok and Twitter because somebody stole my name.
I know you do. Is it Kick Stream or something I've seen?
I've started doing a little bit on Kick as well, yeah. Some variety streams on there, but mainly Twitch. I'm just struggling to find time to stream on one platform, let alone 2.
And I would highly recommend following Lucas on the day that Arsenal are playing. It's a hoot. If you want to see the whole gamut of human emotion on a Twitter thread. That's it. That's the man that you want to follow. And if you want to be associated with celebrity, if you need a bit of celebrity in your life, the award-winning Charlotte, where can everybody find you?
Stalking actors on Twitter, so we get a takeover ASAP. But no, I'm only joking. I'm not really that bad. I promise joking. I'm not that bad. You don't need a restraining order against me, I promise. But yeah, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as SharXRAFC, or you can keep up to date with my Rochdale Her Game 2 stuff. That's Rochdale HGT.
That X used to stand for the kiss. It now stands for no.
Yeah, it's like no, not today.
No.
I'm done.
Exactly. And I am. If for some reason, if you're feeling a bit bored, you can follow me. I am FMFO official. I think I'm FMFO _ official. Actually, I'm not sure. Look for it. You'll find it. So Charlotte doesn't know. Nobody knows. If you want it, you're
It's a
gonna have to
mystery.
work for it. You're gonna have to work for it. If you want a bit more of me, you're gonna have to put the effort in. But of course, the big one, if you want to follow us, we are at Absolute Ball Pod on TikTok, at Absolute Football Pod. No, we're not. The wrong way round. At Absolute Ball Pod on Twitter, at Absolute Football Pod on TikTok, and Instagram, Absolute Football Podcast _ because I didn't make them all the same name because I am an idiot and that would have just been too easy. I want you to wait for it. I want you to want it. But thank you for being here with us. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you very much, Charlotte and Lucas, for joining me today. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and hope you have a wonderful evening, day, whatever time you're listening to. Enjoy whatever it is you're doing in life. And as always, trust the process. I'll speak to you soon.